good to see
What
you.
did I do?
You're here.
I wanted to be early too. Joe, you made it. Yes, sir. Thank you.
Say, better late than never.
Say the same thing, Joe.
And you too, lady. Good. Hey, Jeff. Wore my morning clothes.
Your morning play,
That's as in this morning.
My last meeting.
last meeting,
Yeah.
all in black.
All right. I laid up. Oh, not too bad.
You're not too bad at all.
It was 2 minutes to 7 by my, it's coming up River Street. I said, oh, I'm gonna be late.
Well, don't stay.
That
You
was
did good.
3 minutes.
All righty, you good?
Yeah, I'm
All
good.
right, here we go.
I'll settle down in a minute.
All right. All right. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the regular meeting of the Truckee Donner Public Utility District. It's Wednesday, December 4th, 6:05 PM. And could we get roll call, please?
Director Aguera,
Here.
Director Harris. Here. Director Laliotis.
Here.
Vice President Finn.
Here.
President Bender.
Here. All right. Joe,
Yes, sir.
can you lead us in the pledge?
I think so.
Thank you.
Ready? Begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Thank you, Joe.
Thank
Thank you.
Oh, sure, thank you.
All right, any changes to the agenda tonight, Brian?
There are no changes.
All right, thank you. All right, that takes us to public comment. Time set aside for the public to address the board on any matter not on the agenda tonight. Testimony related to any agendized matter should be addressed at the time that item is considered. So I'd like to open it up for public comment.
Do I just stay up at this podium here?
Yep, make sure the mic's on. There's probably 2 switches.
Okay, awesome. Can everyone hear me all right?
Yep.
Awesome. All right, so my name's Jasmine Harris, for those who don't know me. But when I wrote this for the first time, I had a whole opening line introducing myself, but as I thought a little bit further, I realized I have a personal relationship with almost everyone in this room, but most importantly, all of the board incumbents. To Krista, as a kid, I always knew grocery shopping with my mom was a 2-stop trip. One at the grocery store where we would steer clear of the wine aisle, as we would later end up at stop number 2, the poorhouse. As I grew older and a little bit more antsy, I always wondered why she wouldn't just buy wine at the store, as to which she answered she wanted to take the extra time to support small businesses, as she cared deeply for the family that ran it. To Tony, a few years back, Isla was my little best friend. Thank you for trusting me to babysit her, as I always look forward to the days that I just got to give her a little squeeze. To Jeff, you probably didn't realize it at the time, but the PUD wouldn't be the first time you got to work alongside my mom, with the first being figuring out how to get 12 little leaguers to stand on a float at 7 a.m. in the below freezing temperatures. All jokes aside, the number of rides and post-game orange slices my mom provided to Mark demonstrates the selflessness that she has as a parent to provide love and security to any child, regardless of whether or not it is her own. To Joe, thank you for trusting my mom to provide Claire with care and comfort in your home during her last few months. To Kim, my mom, thank you for being the greatest role model a daughter could ask for returning to the place that didn't have your best interest, not for yourself, but for those who need a voice, for continuing to show up for the community and employees and cause commotion that is necessary, because if nothing changes, then nothing changes, for demonstrating how to carry myself in an environment and to never take disrespect from anyone, for teaching me that demographics don't matter, and most importantly, if all else fails, work hard and love big. I recognized I don't know the whole story of what happened during my mom's time, both as an employee and a board member at the PUD, but never did I imagine that the same people that hold such deep family ties and community support will undermine my mom the way that they did. I'm not capable of having any hate at all towards any part of the community that raised me, including all the board members tonight, but I did want to leave you with one thing from my family to yours. Always resort back to the lessons you teach your kids because it will take you a lot farther than you can imagine. Thank you so much, and congratulations to Joe for your last meeting and my mom as well. Thank you.
How's it going this evening? My name's Aaron, Big A. Been around for a while. Courtney, congratulations on winning. Your parents were very sweet to me my early years here in Truckee. First couple of people I met. Steve Randall, congratulations. This guy's an animal on the softball field. I've been playing with him for the last 37 years. It's been a pleasure. Kim, you received 5,150 votes, and in all my research, that's the most any person has ever received on this board. Okay. I would like to take this time to honor my wife, Kim. This is her last meeting of a 4-year term. It's been challenging 4 years, to say the least. Despite being treated unfairly, ganged up, and bullied by her fellow board members, who at one time were considered her friends. She has handled everything with incredible amount of strength, dignity, and class. This was never easy for her, but she never gave up. Throughout her time on this board, she busted her ass and did the best to make decisions that would benefit the PUD, the employees, and the community here. She stayed focused on what was right, even when others made it difficult. I've watched her go through so much BS, but she always stayed true to the game and to herself and the community, and never, ever letting the negativity break her spirit. Her dedication and heart for helping others are always clear to me and everyone else in this room. I know these people saw it here also. I'm so damn proud of you, Kim, and the way you handled all these tough situations. You kept your head held really high. You were always laser focused, and even when things got rough. Now that her term is over, I just want to say thank you and I love you. I would also like to thank all of you in this room who came in to support her. She deserves all the credit in the world for sticking with this, even when it was hard. I'm lucky to be by her side, and I'm so proud to call her my wife.
Hi, I'm Kathy Freeman,
And I'm Jess Baker.
and we're Kim's crazy neighbors. And we were there the day that the sign went up that said, "Welcome home, Jasmine." So we've been around for a while. We just wanted to congratulate you, Kim, on surviving the board and going on to bigger and better things. We are so proud of you as our neighbor, but also as ratepayers. We know she had her eye on the budget, and we appreciate that. And to the board and to our good friend Joe, we hope that, Joe, you go on to enjoy a retirement from this board as well. We are also neighbors with you. But to you as board members, we want you to know how much we truly appreciate Kim as representing us, because we wanted change on this board, and she tried to bring it. Thank you very much for letting us be here today to support you, Kim. And here's a little something for you.
Good evening, everybody. My name's Cristobal Martinez. I just wanted to take the time to say thank you for your service to my hometown. I appreciate it. And same to you, Joe. Love you, man. Been in the family forever, so got your back, whatever you need. Also wanted to congratulate you, Courtney, and Steve and Jeff. Give it your all. Make the best decisions for us here, and hopefully everything works out. And wanted to say thank you to everybody that voted for me. And it was a good experience. Came a little short, but that's what happens. But we'll get there someday. Thank you.
Siobhan Smart, I want to congratulate Jeff Courtney and Steve Randall. Steve Randall is a beast. He is really about trucking. We are so excited for him. Director Harris, you and I, we were not friends before this. I did not know you. You did not eat in my restaurant. And out of this election, I feel like we have kind of put you in the spotlight. So I have a sincere apology for making you the subject of something that you had no part of and declined to help us with. And so I want to say thank you. I want to say thank you for your service. I think public service is hard. I think what you've been through after watching many, many meetings takes an enormous amount of courage. And I also think you showed incredible grace. And if you ever need to look at the value of what you've done, you only need to look at your daughter's speech. That is an immeasurable credit to you and the skill set that you've brought to the board and to our town. And I just want to say that we love you, and I'm grateful because I feel like between you and Aaron, we have started a brand new friendship, and I hope that we continue. Thank you. Joe Aguirre. Joe Aguirre's been eating in the restaurant for years. How can I think he and my husband have a length of service. Joe, this town is where it is because of your service, and we thank you, your stories. Can I share one story about Joe?
I don't know which one is it going to be.
Oh, yeah. Joe Aguirre and a team of folks would come in. We like to call them the special table in the back. There's a booth. Joe and a bunch of guys would come in, and when he decided to retire, and I will never forget this, he walks in. I have to tell this story. He has more grace and humor, and he walked in and told everyone that he was going to retire, and he had a measuring tape. And he goes, for all of you who stand up and get measured, you get half off. And all of the guys absolutely loved it, but he had such a warm sense of humor. And my husband would tell a story of the kids when they would run and play at the mortuary that are just exciting as all get out. So Joe, thank you for being
My kids.
Joe, thank you for being a great neighbor.
Thank you.
Thank you for what you do for the community. And thank you for your many, many years of service here. And congratulations on this being your last meeting.
Thank you. I never carried a tape measure. I corrected her one time on that story.
All right, any other public comment? All right, seeing none, we'll close public comment and go for director updates. Any updates over there, Kim?
You looked left, so I'll go first. First off, I want to thank the people that ran for this office. It definitely, we had a wide variety of community members who wanted to step up to the plate. Congratulations to Courtney and to Steve and to Jeff for being the successful ones. And I'm glad to see the passion in this community for the PUD. Congratulations to Joe for your last meeting. It's been a long haul, and I'm very excited
Thank you, Kim.
to share your final day, with you. Thanks to Aaron and Jasmine. They've been my biggest support, and I just can't thank them enough. It's so refreshing to have them here and be here for me, as well as my neighbors, friends. I do appreciate it so much. I also want to thank the rest of the supporters who may not be here, neighbors, community members who have reached out, people who have texted me, called me in all sorts of ways. But true to every meeting I've had, I want to thank the employees here. The employees get to see how public service works at the PUD. They do a great job with keeping our lights on, our water's flowing, our bills paid, our bills sent out, and I really appreciate that. So thank you to staff. That's all I have. I'm looking forward to not having to come to meetings anymore.
Any updates, Tony?
Yes, I know we've had some outages, and I know the staff has been working a lot, and I really appreciate everyone's hard work, keeping the lights on and water flowing. And Kim, congratulations. I know it's been a tough 4 years, and you and I have known each other for a long time, and we've shared a lot over the years. I have a lot of respect for you. And I appreciate your time on this board, and I understand it hasn't been easy. I really do think that public service is hard, and it can be hard, whether you're an employee or a board member. But as has been said here tonight by your husband and your daughter, I do appreciate your perseverance in working with us in sometimes adverse moments. So congratulations. And thank you to Jasmine and Aaron for your speeches. I do appreciate that. We are part of a community, and we can't forget that. Despite what happens sometimes on a professional level or a government level, we are a family, we are a community, and your words are important, so thank you. Thank you. So, Joe?
Yay. How are we doing, Tony?
37 years.
9
38,
elections.
40, I don't know, could be 100.
That was out of luck, I think.
But, you know, this community has been so lucky to have you in it, in all of your roles, whether it's
Thank you, Tony.
being on this board, on the cemetery board, being, you know, the owner of the mortuary for so many years, and taking care of families in times of need in this community, and having your family be also a big part of this community. So I really do appreciate your time on this board, and you'll be missed. I know where you live, so I'll be knocking on your door here and there.
I'm almost your neighbor.
I know.
That's down the hill.
I know, we all kind of live around each other. But congratulations, that's amazing. 37 years is absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Thank you, Tony.
You have any updates, Joe?
Any updates? You remembered the 10 years with the fire department and also with the cemetery. The town gave me a proclamation for my service, community service, and they said I was 37 years with the PUD. Well, I was. So I'm glad I did it. I don't know how I did it. I did win the elections, and it got me through. And I have to thank the supporters that supported me through all these years. I really appreciate that, and I think I've said that at 3 or 4 of my thank yous. That the supporters were the ones that kept me in office. So thank you all.
Perfect. All right. Christopher.
I will also say happy holidays to everybody. Moving on. And I do just echo kind of what everybody has said today. Public service is hard. It is hard and it takes courage. And every single person up here has that courage. So I am grateful that Kim has the support that is showing up tonight. And I truly hope you do move on to bigger and better things than this board. Joe, again, thank you for your service for all this time and setting an example for me to follow. I appreciate that. Yeah, all the endings are hard, beginnings are hard. And just one quick director update, not on that, that I did attend the CCC meeting this morning, the Convene Catalyze. That's the sort of county region-wide collaboration where we get monthly subjects. Anyway, the subject this time around was housing. And I have to say, it was really depressing. I saw Alex on the call, so she knows it's really a subject that is intractable. We have a lot of challenges, from our homeless population to our missing middle, but there are a lot of things happening right now, from county level programs to town level programs to the JPA that we're involved in, for example, to help get consistent housing for our employees. And so I hope that everybody keeps in mind the people that do need a warming shelter, that are unhoused, that are underhoused, that are not in the extremely lucky position that I'm in, for example. So that's all from me. Thank you.
All right.
Jeff, can I indulge me real quick? I apologize. I want to congratulate all the candidates who ran this season.
Oh, yes.
7, I was involved in a race with eight candidates. This was 7, so it can be a bit of a horse race. So, but I want to congratulate all of you for putting your names in the hat. Running a campaign is no easy feat, especially with 7 people on the ticket. So I do appreciate everyone putting their name in the hat. And looks like at this last final update, Courtney and Steve and Jeff, congratulations, and welcome to the board. So.
I he bypassed my little speech, and this is it. I forgot to congratulate the candidates that ran. I think we have some good members coming up, some young blood in there. And I remember when I went into this district, I was appointed the first term. And Steve Randall asked me, hey, how do you like the PUD? And that was, Steve, that was 37 years ago. And I said, okay. And when I saw your name on the roster, I said, well, I think he's gonna do good on this. And you ran your district for what, was it 39 years? 38. 38, well, that's when I was born, in 38. So this is why, one of the reasons I thought I'd give it up this year, this term. So, and Kim, thank you for being on the board. And she was a big voter, the biggest voter getter when she ran for office 4 years ago. And one of my elections about 5, 6 ago, I guess, I won by 8 votes. And the secretary and I kept checking every day, well, am I still ahead? And yeah, you're 3 votes ahead. Yeah, you're 5 votes ahead. And it ended up that I had 8 votes. Wow. And the attorney, Steve Gross, I remember him saying to me, it only takes 1. And it took 8 that year. So, let's see, there was something else I missed here, I think. Kim, thank you. I respect you all the time. Okay? Thank you. And Aaron, you're still my friend.
Yes, you are.
You've always been. And thank you guys, Jess and Kathy, for being here. And the other 2 girls, the names just flew out.
Ann and Myrna.
That was another reason for me retiring. My mind's going. And my eyes are still pretty good. I can use glasses for reading, and I still have hearing aids. And so I can walk and talk, and that's good enough right now. So thank you again for supporting me all these years. And on the fire district, now the cemetery, it was an election. It was not an election, but it was an appointment by the supervisor. And I was the first week in town, and then I went to the cemetery district meeting to find out where the cemetery was and meet the people of the cemetery, because I worked very close with the cemeteries. And at that meeting, it was a 3-board meeting, 3 directors. And they needed one more. They needed the 3rd one. So they says, hey, Joe, why don't you become director? I says, well, you think I can do that? Isn't that a conflict of interest, me being the funeral director? And they said, no, that has nothing to do with it. And naturally, the district is under California state law, and they have a state board and everything else. And so it's regulated pretty good. And I guess they let me do it because I did it for about 8 or 9 years. And then I'm still with the cemetery district. I'm not a board member, but I'm a consultant for them at this time. So that ends my community service. Thank you again, and we'll see how this meeting goes.
It's going to go well.
It'll be all right.
Yeah,
It should go pretty good, especially the end of it.
When we adjourn.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Congratulations, Joe. 37 years. Congratulations, Kim. The next chapter. I'm envious.
Yeah.
But I'm going to do 4 more.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So, and then congratulations to our Steve and Courtney, next board members, and to thank all the candidates for running. And there it is. I think we can move on to the next item. All right, thank you, everyone. And then, so we have some department updates, still another D. Oh, and then we can pause if folks want to depart and not go through a regular meeting.
I'm going to go say goodbye to them. I'll be
Okay,
right
yeah, all good.
Good night now.
President Bender and members of the board and the public, I'll wait just a second. Actually, before we get going, I did want to just say really quickly, Joe, it's been a real honor to get to know you over the time, and to the people coming in, I'm looking forward to getting to know you both and getting and work together. And Jeff, congratulations also. I feel like I already know you some, so we'll get to know each other better.
Yes.
But I just wanted to say thank you and for your guys' service, and it's been a real honor. My name is Chad Reed. I had the opportunity to present the water update for this month. I'm going to start off with the graph that we're so familiar with, which is basically saying the same thing that we've seen for the last several months. And that is, when we compare year to year, we're up by about 5% on the production of water that we're doing. However, when we compare October, the last 3 Octobers, it's a 1% difference. So we're kind of getting back in with what would be the normal, so to say. And we're able to see that slight difference as we've gone throughout this year. Next slide, please. This is kind of the commercial, the teaser, whatever you want to call it, of what is going to be coming up in January. We're going to be doing some of the different projects we had. We're going to recap the year in and talk a little bit about it. I broke it up into 3 different areas. That of pipeline replacement. We were able to replace almost 6,000 feet, linear feet of pipe going up Northwoods. We were also able to address a major leak that we had over on 89 and in a very short order. I really appreciate all the efforts that were done there from the numerous different people. Excuse me. We were also able to finish that ski slope project that we had going on prior to the pavement. It was really nice to work with the town, and I have to give kudos to them of we were able to coordinate this, and it was down to the days of when they started their pavement versus when we were able to finish up. And so that we're able to finish a project like this is just a true testament to the professionals working together. Tanks, we had 2 tanks that have come online this year. We had Ski Run tank that came on, an additional 100,000 gallons added to the system. and 6170B, which I know we've been able to go to take a field trip of and be able to see. Some of the miscellaneous or the other projects that we had is the generator that we were able to add to Alder Creek. We also have a well that was rehabbed. We also have been able to bring on the pump station. There's redundancy for that of Tahoe Donner. And one of them that kind of goes, it's smaller, but it gets missed a lot of times, is fire flow. It's one of the biggest things that we do here is making sure that we have the adequate water for that. We're able to address some issues that we had over in the, over on the side of Donner Lake there and make sure that we have the water that we need when they need it and able to support everyone. I'm going to close with a 1-minute video of showing a pump station being built in less than a minute. And as Tony knows, and I'll pick on Tony for just a second, normally you don't see him being built quite that fast. So here is the 1 minute. I need to give a shout out to Alex, who did this as a social media post on, I forget the platform, but on our social media sites, and she did an amazing job. And I think a lot of times we forget to thank her. So thank you, Alex.
Chad, that looks like the Joe Aguera pump station.
That's
It
what
absolutely is, and we're going to talk about that.
I was gonna say, that's my pump station.
It is. We wanted to send you off, Joe, with a thank you again, and we are so honored to get to name that after you.
I'm honored that you chose me for this. For a tank.
Perfect. And if all pump stations could be the year reduced down to a minute, you forget about any headaches you had or any of the other issues that always come up in every construction project. I just wanted to say happy holidays to everyone, and thank you guys very much for everything you've done.
Well, same to you, and thank you, Chad.
Thank you.
Bring this down a little bit. Good evening, President Bender, members of the board. My name is Alex Bihalski. I'm the communications specialist. I'm going to be giving you your communications and strategic affairs update tonight. So first off, in the strategic affairs world, Stephen Poncelet attended the annual CMUA Legislative and Regulatory Planning meeting earlier in the month down in Roseville. And some of the key topics of that meeting and the priorities for 2025 include a recap of the election results, an update on CARB's effort to reauthorize the cap and trade program, presentation on the progress and upcoming efforts for regionalization of electric markets, and a discussion on the water side of a potential new low-income rate assistance program. So for communications, we experienced our first PSOM warning since 2021 in mid-November. It's more of an electric thing, but I'm just going to talk about the communications portion of that. This was a particularly challenging PSOM warning because it was snowy and rainy and trucky, and we were trying to communicate to the public that a wildfire safety power outage had the potential to happen. So it was took a little bit more explanation, I think, than normal. People aren't in the wildfire mindset in November. And we were also only given 14 hours to alert our customers. And we've kind of always had this expectation of 24 to 48, and we've communicated that out. This was a really short amount of time to alert customers, communicate with partners, get ready to deploy our outage center if needed. So there's a lot going on that night. But we were able to make contact with all 30-plus agencies on our PSOM partners list. As far as communications to the public, we sent all staff emails internally. We sent all customer emails and texts, Nixle alerts. We posted on our website. We posted on social media. We distributed media alerts, and we fielded questions from the press. We also activated our PIO group, and I'll talk a little bit about that later, but they were really helpful in spreading our talking points and our social media posts. You'll see on the screen here to the left, we posted an FAQ on Instagram and Facebook and Twitter, I believe, too, answering some of those questions like, hold on, it's raining. Why is there a peace on warning? Why are you guys telling me to prepare for 1 to 2 days of outage? Won't it not be a wildfire threat once it starts raining? Things like that. The middle one, NV Energy's meteorologist did an explainer on just that, why there was such a danger at that time. So we shared that because that was the questions we were getting. And then on the far right, our Facebook post was shared 80 times. A lot of our partner agencies you'll see up there were really supportive in getting that message across to their audiences. And then a couple of examples of some of the customer education we've had going on recently. So following the board's adoption of the 2023 Power Content Label, we really focused on creating a web page and a social media post to explain our RPS, our Renewable Portfolio Standard, to the community. That percentage gets a lot of interest among our community. They want to know how, quote, green we are. So we put up a web page to kind of explain that a little bit more in depth and walk people through the Power Content Label and what all those different terms and numbers mean. And we also, on the bottom there, that's a digital ad we have running right now. And then in the middle, we had done a quarter page print ad about energy planning after you guys adopted the IRP earlier in the year, and we had the opportunity to expand it to a half-page ad because we had 2 half-page placements coming up. And then on the far right, we're doing our annual holiday ad is going to be running in the month of December. The last few years, like last year, we focused on kind of gratitude and some of the community outreach we've done. This year, it was a real focus on collaboration and highlighting some of the projects that we've gotten done this year with other local agencies. So we were invited to participate in the October Town Talk, which was on winter preparedness. So it was us, the town of Truckee, and the school district. And the community could come out and it was very casual. We talked a little bit. We shared our tips to prepare for winter, things like adopt a hydrant, clearing your meters, preparing for winter outages, don't let your pipes burst, things like that. And then people could ask us questions as well. And then in December, you'll see us doing a lot of the year in review kind of communications, recapping everything that we've done, as well as talking about our water conservation regulations that will be in effect in January. And then last, I just wanted to highlight some of the really great collaborative things we've had going on with other local agencies. So I mentioned before that we have a PIO group. So this existed, I guess a couple years ago. There was a group of all the PIOs from a lot of the Truckee area local agencies, and it kind of fell apart a little bit, and the town's new emergency manager has gotten it back together. So we had our biannual meeting for the winter, and it's a really great opportunity to get us all in the same room and kind of talk about our shared and individual focuses for the winter and how we can all support each other. That meeting actually happened just a couple of days before the PSOM warning, so it was really good. Everyone was still really fresh in each other's minds. We were in communication very quickly. It was a really nice example of how things happen when we work together. And then we also are a part of the UAMPS Collaborative Communications Group. So it's a monthly meeting, and it's open to all the communications teams from all the UAMPS agencies. It's very informal. It's really just there for us to get to know each other, to share information, to learn from each other. You know, we talk about something that's going on in our world. Has anyone dealt with this, et cetera. But again, a really great way for us to be in contact with our peers in the industry. And then a couple of, as we are so focused on customer education these days, a couple of the opportunities we had to partner with other agencies on that. Visit Truckee Tahoe invited us to accompany them down to a tourism marketing event in Sacramento. And it was a joint presentation focused on how our amazing high-quality water is a benefit to visitors to our community as well. We actually did a taste test. We pit Truckee water versus Sacramento water. And I'm sure nobody will be surprised to learn that Truckee water came out on top every single time. And I was really honestly surprised at how engaged everybody was, because there were other stations that were doing wine samplings and beer samplings, and we had a water sampling, and a lot of really technical information about our water cycle, but everyone was actually really engaged and learned a lot. So that was a fun, different opportunity for us. And then two things we're partnering with the town of Truckee on currently. We're collaborating on a branding of Truckee's water as a way to tout how great our water is, number one, and number two, to get people to drink it. And we're also going to be hopefully participating in some of the winter PSA videos that the town of Truckee is looking to put out with some of the other local agencies. Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Good evening, President Bender and members of the board. Do my update and start with congratulating Zach Myers. He finished his apprentice linemanship program with us and promoted to journeyman lineman in November. So congratulations, Zach.
Way to go.
Is he here? No.
Next up is our core value recognition winners for this month. So first we have Haley Robles, who's a customer service 2. She won for work-life balance. In Haley's short tenure with the district, she's been here since January, she has demonstrated work-life balance in an inclusive way. Haley has organized several mountain bike rides for district staff to join outside of work hours and is helping to create a district pet calendar for 2025. She made a big impression in her first potluck participation with her charcuterie board and recently brought a fondue to our Thanksgiving potluck and is not disappointed in the potlucks thereafter. We are glad we have been able to get to know Haley better for her willingness to embrace work-life balance. Accountability, we have Ty Burke. In October, we hosted our third Truckee Elementary School field trip in which the water department does an ice cream aquifer demonstration. Chad usually heads up this demonstration, but was out of town this year. Ty stepped up to the plate and took on the lead role in Chad's absence. To make sure he was prepared, Ty attended the planning meeting to ask questions and get suggestions from staff who'd previously seen one of the demonstrations. He also did a practice run with some of the group to ensure he was ready to impress and educate the students. Ty was well prepared and did a great job of being on his toes when he had to field some hard-hitting questions from second graders, such as, what is water made of? Great job, Ty. And here's just a recap of some of our recent events. We had a Thanksgiving potluck, again, where the fondue was focus and very important to everyone this time. And Deck the District Halls was yesterday. As you notice all the beautiful decorations, that's a group effort that comes up. And we have hot chocolate and cider that's still out there. And then there's a station to make ornaments, or employees can take their ornaments home to have their kiddos make them and bring them back, and we put them on one of our trees. So thank you.
Awesome. Thanks, Jillian, and a shout out to Zach, Haley, and Ty. Awesome.
Hey, Scotty.
Good evening, President Bender and members of the board, public. Nice to have you here. I'd like to first thank Joe Aguera and Kim Harris for your service to the community. Also like to congratulate the new board members for their election. So firstly, real quick, I want to just talk about a project that we were working on. We were collaborating with water and the customer service units, and we just recently finished this lengthy project. Took over a year to complete this. It was an upgrade of the centralized head-in environment for water's advanced metering infrastructure system. The system was no longer supported by the manufacturer, and they worked with us to work on a plan to upgrade the head-in environment as well as migrate our data to the new system. So I want to give a big thank you to these units, water, customer service, and IT, for their hard work, their collaboration, and their follow-through to get this project completed. And then I also thought I'd take a quick moment here to share some technology, do a technology review on some of the technologies we use here, if you could go back to that previous slide. So in this first slide here, this is kind of a basic diagram of a advanced metering infrastructure system. Over here on the left-hand side, you see the smart meters. These are at people's houses. we have separate AMI systems for both water and electric. These smart meters actually reach out and send customer usage data to the middle part there, the data concentrator, I call them collectors. And they do that about every 15 minutes. And this is done using a term called mesh networks that uses radio frequencies or RF, which is a very effective way for these types of devices to communicate, small amounts of data to wherever they're trying to get to. These collectors, they're strategically placed throughout the district's territory for efficient communications. Each one of these collectors has either 2 or 4 network cards in each of them. They can hold 250 connections per card. So each one of these collectors can make connection up to 500 or 1,000 connections to these smart meters. And this is important for the next slide. These data collectors then transmit all of this user data to our management systems via fiber or some other medium such as like cellular technology. And once at the destination, all of this data can be used for a multitude of purposes. Clearly, billing and customer portal availability is pretty important. But the data can also tie back to things like data analytics for energy consumption profiles, or helping find water leaks or outage management systems. Next slide, please. So on this slide, I'm basically want to talk a little bit about the smart meters and the connectivity and hop counts. This slide here is a small screen grab of an area, a small area here, showing electric smart meters. I don't think you can see those, but this is showing the mesh network and the hop counts and the importance of routine maintenance. So hop count is a measure of the number of intermediate devices like routers or repeaters that data packets pass through to get from the source to the destination. And so if you can see or not, each one of those meters has a number on them. And in this screen grab, that number represents the number of hops that each of these meters go through to get to the AMI head-in system. So what we want to see is we want to see 1s and 2s and 3s is really what we want to see. 4s and 5s are generally fine. 6s and 7s are borderline. And if we see larger patterns of like 4s through 7s that are kind of bunched together in certain areas, then we start looking for things like bad equipment such as bad smart meters or collectors or network cards, or we start evaluating for doing some reassociations of these meters so they can reach out and try to find a better path. So the larger the hop count, the less data can be transmitted, and the larger the delay for the communications. So what are some benefits for the lower hop counts, right? First is network efficiency. So lower hop counts generally mean fewer delays in data and less chance for packet loss. Energy consumption. In these AMI type networks, a lot of these devices are often battery powered. So reducing the number of hop counts helps conserve energy, which kind of extends the battery life for these equipment. Billing accuracy. Reduced hop counts helped in more timely and accurate transmission of usage data. So it ensures ratepayers receive precise and up-to-date billing information that reduces chances for errors in bills. Energy consumption feedback. So with efficient hop counts, ratepayers can get near real-time feedback on their energy consumption. And this empowers them to make informed decisions about their usage, potentially leading them to save money and have more sustainable energy habits. And then similar to the electric, water AMI can provide near real-time feedback on water consumption, which not only gives ratepayers a good picture of their usage, but it also allows the district to see anomalies that can help us troubleshoot water leaks, right? And then efficient data transmission means the district can more quickly detect and respond to outages, minimizing downtime for the customers and improving service reliability. And then networks with fewer hop counts can be cheaper to operate, so the cost savings can then be passed on to the customers through lower utility rates or additional services. And then lastly, improved customer service. Fast and reliable data transmission can enhance customer service experiences as we can respond more promptly and accurately to customer inquiries and issues. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Scott.
Couple items from the general management department. One is we've had a lot of discussion internally and some outreach in the community. The district for several years has owned and managed electric vehicle charging stations over here at Meadows Park, over at the Pioneer Commerce Center, and over at the train station. Those resources, those assets have reached the end of their useful life. We had several of them go into where they were not operable. They needed significant upgrades and repairs. The firms, the companies that provided the district that support service are no longer in existence. They had sold their business endeavors and were no longer supporting the infrastructure we had. And so we were kind of at a crossroads there to make a decision. Do we want to reinvest in new equipment, completely new charging facilities, and establish new service contracts for those? We did a little bit of outreach to see if adjacent property owners, the town, was interested in taking on those in the future. We didn't get any interest that was solicited to us. The feedback was that, we've had, the community has had a lot of, penetration in terms of other services providing EV charging stations. We have Rivian, we have Tesla, we had ChargePoint, we have Electrify America. And so the community has and continues to have more development and installation of EV charging locations. Tesla's taking on a pretty large project. We've seen it at Taco Bell. We have another one coming over by Jaboom. And there's other, I think, 3 or 4 more projects out there. Rayleigh's has them. So staff has made a decision to remove those that are no longer operable. They're in disrepair. We still have the infrastructure in the ground, so to speak, that if in the future it's something we want to revisit. But I want to give the board an update that at the moment, the district no longer has those in operation. We removed them. We've had some lease agreements with the town that requires us to restore those facilities to their original condition. We'll come back with some additional workshops if the district, chooses to continue in that business. I think the district should be proud of the fact that we were kind of tip of the spear in our community, providing the original kind of opportunity for our community to have public charging points. And I think now we're in a good spot for others to take on that baton. Definitely something we can bring back in a strategic discussion or another project development in the future. Also wanted to give an update on the district has been re-awarded our Special Districts Leadership Foundation Transparency Award. There was some discussion on that earlier in the year. That is a certification that's provided by the Special Districts Leadership Foundation for excellence in transparency and governance. That's a 3-year award that requires renewal, reapplication. Staff has reapplied for that and has been granted that, so we'll have a press release and put that up on our website again. Also wanted to take an opportunity, there was a lot of discussions, well-earned and well-deserved, about our current board members and future board members. On behalf of the staff, I wanted to commend Director Harris and Director Aguirre on your community service. I think community service in all its forms is commendable, and it's something that everyone should be appreciative of, that the members of our community, I know our staff is, as ratepayers and employees with the Truckee-Donner PUD, for community service, public service. It's often difficult. It takes commitment. It takes personal time. It takes personal efforts. And often, as Rotarian Steve Randall and Joe Aguirre in the room, that service before self is a commendable approach and value to have. And I think everyone who takes on public service and community service does that at various levels, and it should be commended. I also want to commend those who ran for office. That takes personal time and commitment and can be challenging as well. So I appreciate everyone who ran for office. And at the end, congratulating our new board members, Courtney Morrell and Steve Randall. Look forward to working with you and you joining our team. Here in this presentation here, there's a kind of a recap, a year end of this team, this board. A lot of accomplishments in 2024. The staff and the community are thankful for that. It's the board's leadership and vision that gets that done. And, things like the Joe Aguirre pump station, the pipeline projects, the electric division achieved more pole replacements in a single year than ever before. We've accomplish more vegetation management than ever before to help sure that resiliency and reliability, a vision and mission strategic initiative that this board has adopted, the integrated resource plan that sets the tone for the future. So you have a legacy as a board member establishing those tools for the future board members and the future of this committee. So I thank you for your service on that. Mr. Aguirre, the pump station is a symbol and an honor for your service to this community, this district. There's a phrase that's out there in many endeavors that our excellence is built on the shoulders of giants, and you, sir, are one of those giants. 37 years of commitment to this community, not just with the PUD, but with the fire district, with the cemetery district, Rotarian. Your community service knows no end. So as many of the community members have said earlier this evening, you've had a tremendous impact on this community. You're an example to be followed in terms of community service. I personally have been honored to work with you. The insights, there's a lot of stories that people can tell about you. I've enjoyed over the last 11 years, almost 12 years, sitting with you and talking about stories of the past, Truckee in the old days, as you phrased it. And you've had a lot of experience in this community, and I am always just amazed at how you can recount names, faces, the price you paid for your property in 1968, or whatever it might be. And so you're sharp as a tack. You've been a very high level of contribution to this district. A lot has happened over the last 37 years that you can be proud of, and that's the legacy you leave behind. So thank you, both Director Harris and Director Aguirre, for your service. The staff in this community thanks you.
Well, thank you for the honor.
Thank you.
Thanks, Brian.
Is that it for updates?
It is, sorry.
Oh, okay. Okay, thank you, everyone. And now we have some special business, the 2025 board meeting calendar. Item number 8.
So you have me here again. For this item, traditionally, the district has set the board calendar for the subsequent year, for the following year in December, recognizing that the exiting board members and the oncoming board members, the new board members won't officially seat until the January meeting. This board has already set the 2024 schedule, so there is no second meeting in December. We'll do the swearing in of the directors on Friday, December 6th, but there won't be an opportunity to sit at the dais and have discussions on the calendar until January. Staff's recommendation, and it's up for board discussion deliberation, is to set the calendar so that we are canceling the first meeting in January. The first Wednesday of January is January 1st, a holiday that I don't imagine everyone will be here. So the second or the third Wednesday in January is the 15th. And so staff's recommendation is to set the first regularly scheduled meeting for 2025 as January 15th, at which time the new board can set the calendar and elect officers. That's staff recommendation, and I'll leave it for the board for discussion.
Great, thank you. Any public comment on the 2025 board meeting calendar item? All right, seeing none, we'll close public comment. Any questions, comments from the board, or motion?
I have one question.
Pretty straightforward. Yeah.
Brian, we're done as past board members on the 31st of December. Is that when we're done?
You're done when your successors have been elected and qualified. We have final election results, so we have new board members. And once they're sworn in and take the oath, then they'll have been qualified and they'll be seated. So we're looking at having a meeting on this Friday, January 6th, assuming we have that and the new board members are sworn in, your service will come to an end, as will Kim's.
Now, when was that?
December 6th,
December 6th.
Oh, the
this
6th.
Friday.
Oh, okay. Because I've been working on my insurance transfer, and the due date I gave them was December the 31st, because I think the insurance was paid on the 1st of the month, and it goes through the month, right?
My recommendation, Director Aguirre, would be to, if you could tomorrow morning or tomorrow, reach out to Jillian Stewart, our HR manager, and she can coordinate that transfer for you to confirm your dates.
Yeah, I did, I finalized that, my Medicare and my supplement was Friday. And the man had till the 7th, naturally, to get me final. And so I think tomorrow's the 7th, isn't it?
No, the 5th.
Joe, typically what
okay.
they'll do is they'll send you, once your insurance is canceled, they'll send you a COBRA notice,
Oh.
which will allow you to continue at your own cost, but that will have the specific date listed on there. And it sounds like the
Yeah.
6th is going to be the last day covered.
Yeah, well, they called me yesterday, the agent called me yesterday, and they wanted to know when, they wanted a letter from the PUD. And so I called Jennifer, I got a hold of Jennifer, and she wrote the letter, sent it back to my son, because he's the one, the go-between for me. And so that's the date we gave him. And I think that's about right. And we're through the 7th then. Because everything went through the elections fine, and there's no second count.
Correct. This Friday, December 6th, we'll swear in the 2 new board members.
Okay, that's going to be done right here
Yeah,
in the morning?
I believe mid-morning, yes.
Okay, I'll find out.
Is there a motion?
I move staff's recommendation for the special business 2025 board meeting calendar items.
Awesome.
I'll second that.
All right, could we get roll call, please?
Director Aguirre?
Yes.
Director Harris?
Yes.
Director Laliotis?
Yes.
Vice President Finn?
Yes.
President Bender?
Yes. All right. Nice. Okay. Now we have 2 items on the consent calendar tonight. Consideration of authorizing the GM to execute a procurement contract with KI Furniture in an amount not to exceed $41,603. And item number 10, consideration of authorizing the GM to contract with Quality Window Coverings in an amount not to exceed $18,338. Is there any public comment on the consent calendar? All right, seeing none, we'll close public comment.
It's
Any-
kind of has to be done business.
Right, gotta buy a few things. Any questions, comments from the board, or a motion?
Move that we approve the consent calendar.
Thank you.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Director Aguirre?
Yes.
Director Harris?
Yes.
Director Laliotis?
Yes.
Vice President Finn?
Yes.
President Bender?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, we've got one action item tonight, number 11, consideration of fiscal year 25 annual contract procurements. Mike?
Good evening, President Bender, members of the board. Consideration of annual contracts and procurements for 2025. Staff presents routine annual procurements to the board for approval before the fiscal year begins. This ensures compliance with, these items ensure compliance with district procurement policy. This is an efficient process for routine items and reduces overall cost of administration. Procurements greater than $15,000 require board approval, whether it's tonight on this item or anything else during the year or any year. The types of annual procurements include sole source, special services, competitive procurements, professional services, no RFP procurements, budget approvals, non-contracted services, and requests for qualifications. Actually, we didn't have any of those this year. So in accordance with district code, items greater than $15,000 is a competitive process. Staff requests bids or proposals and awards to the vendor with the lowest responsive bid or the most advantageous proposal. Board approval is still required. Less than $5,000 in accordance with district code, board approval is not required. We still get bids and quotes typically on those items. We also have a thing called joint purchasing procurement through state and other public agencies. So we utilize that where we can as well. So before you tonight, this is kind of summarizing the items in the attachment. There's sole source procurements, which is item 1A, and the total, it's 12 vendors for $1,616,000. And that includes specialized software and hardware, reclosers, meters, rings, switches, controls, some cable, and various other unique services, specialized. As far as NOAA RFP special process, special services, there's 13 vendors in that section totaling $1,112,000, includes specialized software, hardware, and various unique services. I should mention that these items are, as I mentioned in the beginning, routine items, and the vast majority of these items are consistent with previous years. I can't think of one off the top of my head that is new on the list for this year, but if I do, I'll bring it up, or if you've noticed one or have a question about one, certainly able to answer that. We do have other government agency procurements through joint procurement agreements as attachment part, section C, and there's 11 vendors in that totaling $1,085,500. And then we have an extension of existing contracts. There's 18 vendors there totaling $4,205,985. That's section 1D. Again, those are previously approved contracts that were presented to the board, and we're recommending extending those for one year into 2025. And then one attachment, section E, is professional services, no RFP process, where there's unique qualifications that includes 3 vendors for a total of $480,000, specialized safety training, engineering service, and electric training services. And then lastly, we have attachment section F of attachment 1, which is competitively bid procurements, lowest response, which includes 13 vendors for a total of $3,957,000. And it includes electric switchgear, wire and cable, power and poles, aggregate and asphalt materials, pad mount switches and transformers, and market basket purchases for electric and water items. As far as fiscal impact goes, reviewing the amounts and all the items, I didn't identify anything that was going to be a variance to budget. Some of them are a little harder to look at because we don't know exactly how much is going to be in a capital project or hit expense. But to the best of my knowledge, the only one that bubbled up was a little bit here on Hunt and Sons, which is through our town of Truckee agreement with the fueling. That dollar amount is $19,000 over the budget level, and that was jacked up due to a new, in November, CARB adopted new regulations for LCFS that is estimated to have about a 50 cent per gallon in California impact in 2025, even more than 50 cents after 2025.
Wow.
There's new stuff for you.
That's a big tax.
There is a handout in front of you that has one, what I would consider a minor edit on the transformers. The way the bid in the RFP worked, we needed to break that down between Schedule A, Schedule B, and then Schedule C and D. So the total amount is still $1.2 million for the transformers. Not a change in the amount, it's just specifying by the 4 schedules, the 3 vendors. And that's how it was specified in the RFP, and I just missed that in my review prior to publication, so my apologies, but cleaning that up. Schedule A is your pole mount single-phase transformers. Schedule B is pad mount single-phase transformers, and Schedules C and D are 3-phase, the big boys. You get that right? All right. The big ones. So again, not changing the dollar amount, just getting more granular on the specifics there. So the recommendation is to authorize fiscal year 25 routine annual procurements totaling $12,456,485 from the vendors listed in Attachment 1, and B, authorize the general manager to execute the required documents necessary to procure the products and services listed in Attachment 1. With that, I turn it back to President Bender. Thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, we'll open this item, number 11, up to public comment. Any public comment on annual contracts and procurements for 25? Wow, I just can't say that tonight. So I'm just... All right, seeing none, we'll close public comment. Any comments or questions from the directors? Looking good.
I have a quick question about the Hunt and Sons. Is that the biofuel that we go in on with the town of Truckee and the fire district?
It is.
Okay. I think my understanding of those new CARB regulations
Yes.
that they're to push us to renewable fuel sources like biofuels. I wonder if that will be as affected as traditional gasoline products.
That's yet to be seen.
Okay.
I think it's safe for us to
Keep our fingers
assume
crossed.
kind of the worst, but
Sure.
make adjustments if they become in cheaper.
100%. And also, I'm just in full agreement with staff to buy as much as we can right now, because we don't know what the future holds, but we know it doesn't get cheaper.
Keep those tanks full.
Right.
Okay. Is there a motion to approve?
I'll move staff's recommendation with the edits to Attachment 1 as provided.
I will second that. Thank you.
Oh, we got a double
Joe, you
second.
can second it. Joe got that second.
We have a motion
my
and a
last
second.
It's your last.
Could we have roll call, please?
Director Aguera?
Yes.
Director Harris?
Yes.
Director Laliotis?
Yes.
Vice President Finn?
Yes.
President Bender?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, let me get back to the agenda. Okay, we've got some routine business. Item number 12, November 6th, 2024, meeting minutes. Any public comment on the meeting minutes? All right, any director comments, questions, edits, or motion?
I move to approve the minutes as presented.
Oh, go ahead.
Joe's going to do
I
the
didn't
next
read the
one.
minutes.
Okay. I second that motion.
All right, motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Director Aguera?
Yes.
Director Harris?
Yes.
Director Laliotis?
Yes.
Vice President Finn?
Yes.
President Bender?
Yes. All right, last item tonight, number 13, routine business, consideration to approve the treasurer's report for December 2024, which includes fund balances for the month of September 24 and disbursements for the month of October 2024. Any public comment on that stuff?
I recommend, oh, I'm sorry.
All right, seeing none, we'll go to director comments, questions, or a motion.
A motion, fine. I'll move that we accept the financial report and pay the bills,
Nice, Jim.
I'll second that.
Thank you.
which are already paid.
Which are already paid. Thank you.
For reminding us, Joe.
We have a motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Director Aguera?
Yes.
Director Harris?
Yes.
Director Laliotis?
Yes.
Vice President Finn?
Yes.
President Bender?
Yes. All right. Heck yeah, there it is, Joe.
What is?
That's the open meeting.
Okay, so now we have some closed session tonight, which I'll announce, and then we'll, yes.
We do have agendized the Finance Corp agenda this evening.
Oh, okay.
While the public is still here, would you like to put the current meeting in recess and open the Finance Corp meeting?
Oh, yeah, we can do that, yes. Yes, please. Could I have one of those, Kim? Oh, okay. All right, I think we need an agenda, please. Or pull it up?
Yep.
All right, right, we'll take a short recess from the regular, and then we'll wait for the agenda.
Oh, they're gonna go get the agenda?
Finance Corp.
Yeah. I thought that came up when the elections for the board comes up, the new board.
After, right.
Huh?
Okay. What do we, so, oh, it's one action item, electing,
Just for the finance core.
oh, shouldn't we punt on this?
And so there's
Or,
one action item this evening. Staff's recommendation is that since the new board has not been seated, to allow for an opportunity, once the new board is seated, to elect officers. So staff, at the board's direction, could hold off on taking action on this item and bring it back to the board on the January 15th meeting.
That should be, I think, because you elect the board president, and they're the officers that go into this.
Yep.
Directors.
Steve, should we open this meeting?
Yeah.
Yeah, we should open the meeting, have roll call, then decide what action we want to take, or whether or not we're going to defer that to the next meeting.
got it. Okay. All right, so we'll open the Finance Corp meeting of the Truckee Downer Public Utility District, December 4th. It is 7:20 PM. And could we have roll call, please?
Director Aguera?
Yes?
Director Harris?
Yes.
Director Laliotis?
Yes.
Vice President Finn?
Yes.
President Bender?
Yes,
Thank
here.
you.
Okay, any public comment regarding the Finance Corp meeting? Or on any items not on the agenda of the Finance Corp meeting, to be specific? Okay, seeing none, we'll close public comment for that, for anything not on the agenda for the Finance Corp, and we'll go into our action item number 4, elect president, VP, or serving on the Truckee Downer PUD as officers for the PUD Finance Corp. Okay. We just heard Brian.
Yeah, I suggest that we wait and take action on the January meeting.
Yeah, that's what Brian just said.
Yeah,
Okay.
So
support that.
that one's amended, I
Okay.
guess.
All right, is there any public comment on this action item regarding the president VP of the Finance Corp election? Okay, seeing none, any additional comments from the directors? Okay, we should probably have a motion, right, to, of that request.
Moving that we do not elect officers tonight, and that we reschedule that for our January meeting with the new board.
Okay,
I'll second.
okay, we have a motion and a second.
Steve is,
Did you get that, Steve? Was that?
That's a perfectly acceptable motion.
okay.
Okay, all right. Motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Director Aguera?
Yes.
Director Harris?
Yes.
Director Laliotis?
Yes.
Vice President Finn?
Yes.
President Bender?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, that's it for the Finance Corp. We will adjourn that now and now go back into our regular meeting. We have 4 closed session items tonight. Item number 14, closed session pursuant to Government Code Section 54957.6, conference with legal negotiator, General Manager Brian Wright. Number 15, closed session pursuant to Government Code Section 54957, public employee, General Manager's performance plan review. And number 16, closed session pursuant to Government Code Section 54956.9D1, conference with legal counsel, existing litigation, claim of Annabelle Sanchez. And number 17, closed session pursuant to Government Code Section 54956.9D4, conference with legal counsel deciding whether to initiate litigation one case. All right. And we'll take a short recess and then head into closed session. Thank you, everyone, for attending.